That's all right, though. It's going down like this, motherfucker.
Nigga get mad. Say, motherfucker, what you mean you ain't gonna let me in this funky joint? Much money I done spent in here, nigga. I knew your mama when she was hoeing. Hump, baby. Shit, bet I do it over time. Say that, nigga. Shit. Bet the bar, off time. Shit, boy, I'm trying to make me some money. Boy, I'm hungry as a hog need. Slap Jesus. Shit, gotta be a Jesus, cause too many black folks.
Ask you something? I said, can I ask you something? Ain't I'm clean?
For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite. For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite. For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite together among ourselves, among our own kind, clean ourselves up, rid ourselves of the evils that we've become addicted to here in this society, and try and
Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man. Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man. Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man.
This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying. This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying. This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying.
I just left a light in this bitch. I'm finna hit the shop in this.
Fuck up. Move the fuck back. Back the fuck up.
Hey, where are the white women at?
Yeah, well. Gotta get a piece of my.
Joe Beach. He looked down, seen his feet. The nigga went berserk, killed the monkey, threw the bat out the window, start kicking that bitch in the air.
Say anyway, but I will. The way quantum entanglement works is that you can take two particles, quantum entangle them, and then take those two particles and move them at any distance in the cosmos. And let's just say, for example, if you quantum entangle two electrons and you have them spinning in the same direction, and then you take one of those electrons and you shoot that thing out 100,000 light years from the original. If you then rotate the spin on the one electron, if you modify it so that its spin changes, the quantum entangled electron at any distance will simultaneously in no time switch its rotation also, because they're quantum entangled. So these communication systems are taking advantage of this aspect of quantum mechanics that most people can't wrap their heads around, and this is what they're utilizing. It's just the new level of science that affords us the ability to communicate at any distance instantaneously.
Can you group of you together, you never can tell who's who. Group of you together, you never can tell who's who. I've seen a lot of black guys, Nipsey, but you're overdoing it.
Plus, I'm in love with a bitch I can't stand.
You don't understand. You don't understand. You don't understand. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. It's cool enough just being cool, like I am.
You're a philosopher?
Yes.
You're a philosopher?
Yes.
You're a philosopher?
Yes.
You're a philosopher?
Yes.
I I think very deep. I think very deeply.
Up yours, nigger. Up yours, nigger.
I mean, TikTok. I mean, TikTok. I mean, TikTok. I mean, TikTok. A lot of the white content creators on TikTok get all of their dances from the black content creators.
Dance with me. Dance with me. Dance with me. Oh yeah, everybody.
Damn white boys out there. Most of them is psychopaths and all that. They'll kill your mama's mama and you.
Decent white folk that still don't know they're racist.
What the hell you want here, hunky?
Mean to be rude. I don't mean to be out of line. Mean to be rude. I don't mean to be out of line. Mean to be rude. I don't mean to be out of line.
What's all that noise? What's all that noise? What's all that noise? What's all that noise? Oh, that's just that.
Hide your mamas. Hide your mamas.
Used to snort cocaine, now I fiend for the check, yeah. Used to snort cocaine, now I fiend for the check, yeah.
Your lines are still open. Oh shit, you can get it, nigga. You wanna get it?
I think we OD'd. I think we OD'd. I think we OD'd. I think we OD'd.
My word, can't be my equal, I don't know what you heard. My word, can't be my equal, I don't know what you heard. Doing styles on them like it's common sense. Hopped out the. Doing styles on them like it's common. Doing styles on them like it's. Doing styles on them like it's common sense.
The Chinese platform, you already know they don't give a fuck about your black ass. The Chinese platform, you already know they don't give a fuck about your black ass. And then
your shit.
Get your hands off of me, shit!
Your shit.
Get your hands off of me, shit!
Heavy, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I come. Heavy, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I come. Heavy, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I come. I hit the loot juice, and pulls up in the duke. I hit the loot juice, and pulls up in the duke. Lean and buck, lean, buck, lean. Lean and buck, lean, buck, lean. Lean and lean, 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 lean and buck, lean.
Badges? We don't need no stinking badges.
Yeah, nigga. Yeah, nigga. Yeah, nigga. Yeah, nigga.
Schatzi, is it true what they say about the way you people are gifted? Oh, it's true. It's true. It's true. It's true.
Like I said, you go to the history of European civilizations. 250 years is how long they last before they implode because of their greed, because of their violence, because of an inability to let others be, including themselves. If they didn't have brown and black people to hate, they would hate themselves.
I hit the loot.
to the east, to the north, to the west, to the south, above, below, and the middle. Greetings. This is Big Pontiac, and welcome to the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am the holder of the infinite sacred ball game that was created by the Hero Twins, and I am that one and only galactic daddy-o welcoming each and every one of you to my galactic patio that reaches from Minnesota to the universe. Well, that's my motherfucking cue to come in. And if you hoes did not think I was going to motherfucking come on tonight when we kicked the Vikings ass, and you know the Vikings is my number 2 team, that's why I had to come on you hoes with this goddamn Randall Cunningham jersey on to show you how dominant my Eagles was tonight. So you knew I was going to bring it. You knew I was going to talk about the Eagles. I'm not dodging nobody win or lose, but when I win, you know I'm going to bring it, and I'm going to wear sweet shit like the Randall Cunningham. Oh, I'm jumping ahead. I drank all the beer during the game because you know how it is when your favorite team is playing and you want to have at least a beer, a quarter, and you know that beer might be the beer to get your team over the top. So you gotta drink it. You gotta drink it, if you know what I'm saying. So right now I'm drinking just some fucking, what is this shit? Costco motherfucking purified water. So pop them if you got them. And I've been taking these bad motherfuckers all day. Come on, the light is the herb, vegan gummies, the strawberry. These are 50 milligrams of THC, Delta 8, dynamite. But we are smoking. And I don't know what this shit is called, other than it's called good. So join me to the head. Smoke them if you want them. Man, that shit make you want to sing like George Clinton and shit. You know how George Clinton they be go la da da dee da 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 da. You know they sing Flashlight. That shit make you want to start singing Flashlight. Oh, well, what's happening, everybody? I see my main man PJ Allen is in there, fucking with me. I'm glad he fucks with me. And as always, he knows where all his
my bitches. You saying you can't control your bitches? What?
And he's definitely got
to have vision.
And we going further than that. And I'm all fucked up. Okay, it's not this far out. I guess that's it. That's all the. Oh, this is the final introduction.
Badges? We don't need no stinking badges.
Yeah, we don't need no stinking bad. Yes, intergalactic funk. P-Funk. I want to get funked up. I want the bomb. I want the P-Funk. I don't want my funk stepped on. That's right. One nation. Music can move and remove. That is realer than real deal Holyfield. It can move and remove. Tones. That's why when I play them tones, what I'm giving out to you for free. Go back to when I played them and I play them by hand. You can just sit there. It's about 6-7 minutes of it, and it'll calm you. It'll calm you. So you'll definitely feel something from it. And I've been giving that out for free. So so I'm gonna sit here and talk shit for about an hour or two. I was a lazy motherfucker again today. Did not play pickleball. It was a nice day. Just didn't get my lazy ass up, and my daughter had a tennis match, so I kind of had to go watch her play tennis, and she had fun. She had fun for seventh grade tennis is what seventh grade tennis is. So that's the way I take it. There's no pressure. It's like, okay, let her do her thing, but it was interesting. It was interesting, and you can see the parents that put more time in it. But it's still this opportunity for everybody. And that's all we can go with. Is everybody gets the opportunity and what you do with it. And what I like about tennis, it helps you in pickleball. It helps get those pickleball skills in order. That's what I like about tennis. So get those swings in the way you do your hips and stuff, and then the backhand, because pickleball. Oh, shit. And let me show you what I discovered today. This is some new shit. I'm starting my day off lazy. When I get home, I know they started striking at midnight. Oh, that was midnight. Ooh, I did not know that. Wow, let's pull that up. Let's see what comes up. When is this? Wow. Oh, so they just, this shit, what is it? It's only shit. This shit just kicked in. Okay. Where's right here. They got in their ass. Auto workers strike against Detroit Big Three car makers. First time in history that they work together. And I don't know if that's really true, because back in 99 or 2000, all three of them went on strike too. So this part ain't quite true. Better wages, benefits, Sanford's. Oh, where's that? I left my cigar downstairs. I'm gonna have to go get that motherfucker. I don't want this shit. About 13,000 auto workers stopped making vehicles and went on strike Friday after their leaders couldn't bridge a gap between union demands and contract talks. With Detroit's three automakers are willing to pay. Members of the automaker union began picketing at General Motors assembly plant in Wentzville, Virginia, a Ford factory in Wayne, Michigan, that's outside of Detroit, and a Stellantis Jeep plant in Detroit. I think that used to be the old General Motors plant. It's the first time in the union's history that it walked out on all three companies simultaneously as a 4-year contract expired. The strike will likely chart the future of the unions of America's homegrown auto industry, a time when U.S. labor is flexing its might and the companies face this historic transition from building internal combustion automobiles to making electric vehicles. If they last a long time, dealers could run short of vehicles and prices could rise. BS. There's so many used cars. This is BS. The walkout could even be a factor in next year's presidential election by attesting Joe Biden's proud claim to be the most union-friendly president in American history. Workers all over the world are watching this, said Liz, AFL-CIO. The strike is far different from those during previous negotiations. Instead of going after one company, a union led by pugnacious new president Sean Fain is striking all three. But not all the 146,000 members of the company plant are walking picking lines, at least not yet. I thought you had to. Instead, the UAW targeted a handful of factories to prod company negotiators to raise their offers, which were far lower than union demands. 30% wage increase over 4 years, and GM and Ford offered 20%. Stellantis, formerly Chrysler, offered 17%. Even Fain had called the union demand audacious, but he maintained the automakers are ranking in billions and can afford them. He scoffed at the company's statement that costly settlements would force them to raise vehicle prices, saying labor accounts for only 4 or 5% of the vehicle's cost. They could double our wages and not raise prices on cars and still make millions in profit. We are not the problem. Corporate greed is the problem. In addition to general wage increases, the union is seeking restoration of cost of living pay raises to end a varying tiers of wages for factory jobs. A 32-week, 40 hours of pay, the restitution of traditional defined benefit pensions for new hires who now receive only 401-style retirement plans. Pensions increased for retirees and other items. Starting in 7, workers gave up cost of living raises. Defined benefit pensions for new hires. Wow. Wages tiers were created, and as the UAW tried to help the companies avoid financial trouble ahead of and during the Great Recession. Even so, only Ford avoided government-funded bankruptcy protection. Many say it's time to get the concessions back because the companies are making huge profits and CR raking in millions. They also want to make sure the union represent workers at joint ventures of electric vehicle battery factories that companies are building so workers' jobs making vehicles in the future. Top scale assembly plant workers make about 32-hour plus large annual profit sharing checks, which so Ford said average annual payments include overtime and bonuses was $78,000. Outside the Ford plant in Detroit, workers Brittany Johnson has worked for the company for 3.5 years and has yet to reach top union wages. I like my job. It's that we deserve more, she said. Johnson's said this is her first strike, but she's been preparing for it for months and putting money away. It's not fun. There are a lot of people who are not going to get paid, she said. She guesses that the strike will last a couple of weeks. We're the ones for the last 20 years that have been kind of hoping things would change and we would get back to some of the stuff that we lost with the bankruptcy. Who delivers parts assembly line in GM's pickup truck plant, which is still making vehicles, and every contract it seemed just like we didn't get what we deserve. Walken called this year's tank talks huge and said meeting the company in the middle isn't good enough. I think it needs to be a little bit closer to the top of what we are asking for. Automakers, however, say they are facing unprecedented demand on capital as they develop and build new electric vehicles while at the same time making gas-powered vehicles, SUVs, and trucks to pay the bills. They worried that labor costs will rise so much they would have to raise their prices above those sold by foreign automakers. But they sell their cars. Their cars are more expensive over there. So GM CEO told workers in a letter Thursday the company is offering historic wage increases in the new vehicle commitments at U.S. factories. GM's offer, she wrote, addresses what you told us is most important to you in spite of the heated rhetoric from leadership. The limited strikes will help us preserve the union's $1 million strike fund, which would run dry in about 11 weeks if all 134,000. Wow. They have 825 million strike funds. And 11 weeks, it would be enough to pay this. Wow. What do they do with that money when they're not on strike? They have almost $1 billion in strike fund, which they're going to have to pay out if they're on. They're going to have to pay this out. But just think when they don't pay this out and they're not on strike, what that money is doing. Under UA strategy, workers will go on strike, live $500 per week in strike pay from the union, which others would stay on the field at full pay. It's unlikely the companies would lock the remaining workers out of their factories because they want to keep building vehicles. Well, let's get this again. While others would stay on the job. Workers would go on strike, would live on $500 per week. Strike pay while others would stay at the job. Okay, so they said they didn't hit all the companies. It's tough to just how long it would take for the strike to cut off inventories at dealers, start hurting the company's bottom line. So, yeah, we've been kind of talking about this a little bit, and it's here. And, we've had presidents that busted up unions, but I got to go get my cigar because I definitely got to go get it. So there's a lot of stories of debauchery I can get into. And it feels like magic. Yeah, here's another one about 13,000. Okay. 13,000 went on strike. That's what it says. 13,000 went on strike. But I need to go downstairs and get something. And there's a lot of debauchery. Damn. What the fuck that is? Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff I looked at tonight. So give me time to run downstairs. Oh, here we go. And it feels like magic. Yeah, I think this would be long enough. Yeah, I don't know if y'all caught this. This is 2 days ago, so this is still pretty new. But this will give me time to run downstairs and grab my stuff. So, check it out.
Death of that teen, 16-year-old Jada Medrano Moore. She was shot while walking home from school. Today, 7 News Maryland Bureau Chief Brad Bell talked to her dad, and he joins us now with his heartbreaking loss. Brad?
Yeah, brutal story. Look, I want to show you what's going on right now. This is the scene of the crime yesterday, and you can see all these crime scene investigators, basically the entire staff of the Crime Scene Investigation Office for Prince George's County Police is out here. They're literally on their hands and knees, as you can see, going through the leaves, looking for evidence in this crime. And yes, we did learn the identity of the victim. We spoke to the father, the family, absolutely heartbreaking. Her name was Jada Medrano Moore. That's her, number 24, on the website Huddle, playing basketball for Duval High 2 years ago. Her father, though no longer in the area, says Moore loved basketball and loved Duval.
Very intelligent young lady. She was inspired to go to the WNBA. She was just like a team player.
The 16-year-old killed after school yesterday, just a block from Duval. According to multiple sources, she was trying to protect her younger brother from a group of masked teens who appeared to be waiting for him. The sources say she was trying to break up a fight when one of the teens first hit her with a gun, then fired one shot.
It looks like she made a jump in front of a bullet just to try to save her brother.
At the high school today, a heavy police presence both on and around campus. This student telling us it's been a tough day.
You could tell that people were pretty, shook by what happened. You can tell by their faces, especially since they had, the teachers had to, make an announcement about what happened, Even my teacher, in our first period, looked like he was about to start crying.
As for the investigation, police say they've made no arrests. And even though the shooting was witnessed by a group of teens, they're still looking to identify the shooter.
We are determined to find a suspect who callously, in broad daylight, killed one of our teenagers in our community.
So back live now, you can see they are desperately searching for evidence in this. The family also posted a social media post this afternoon calling on those who were out here, because we're told there was a group of teens here, calling on them to cooperate, to tell police what they know. Sources telling us so far, they're not getting much in the way of cooperation. In Lanham, Brad Bell, 7 News.
That was a little bit of debauchery. All right, PJ says we're waiting to see which factory affects us. As for right now, I still have an offer when they lay off. Thank God, that's good. Wow, way up here, huh? Yeah, there it is. Yeah. And I know you definitely got
to have vision.
And we don't need no
Badges? We don't need no stinking badges.
We do not need any stinking badges. So good. That's good. You got something going on. Yeah, this is really sad. Yeah, and that's what That's what the world is coming to, which is very sad. And it's like, this ain't even the only, I was thinking I ran into a couple. Let's see. Oh yeah, we had this happened down in Texas. And this is fairly recent. This was yesterday. This is yesterday. Officer shooting down in Texas.
Breaking news right off the top at 4 o'clock. A Dallas police officer is shot while responding to another shooting. It's still a very active scene, as you can see from CBS News Texas Chopper. And this is a live look from Baylor Scott and White Hospital, where that officer was taken and where he's now in stable condition. Good afternoon. I'm Karen Borda.
And I'm Ken Molestina. Thank you so much for joining us for CBS News Texas at 4. All of this happened near Fair Park in Dallas along the 4800 block of Cyan Road.
Our Andrea Lucia is live at the scene with what led to this shooting. Andrea.
I'm standing here on the corner of 2nd and Elsie Faye Higgins. This is a scene with a heavy police presence. It goes on for a couple of blocks.
Okay, did y'all catch the name of the street? Elsie Mae Figgins. Doesn't that just say nigga? Elsie Mae Figgins. Now, come on. We know, and we start, just look around. What do you think? Look around at this scene. And you know who lives around here. Just look at the colors. Look at the condition. Just look at the colors, though, and the condition. It's always the same around America. There's like the colors of no hope. I mean, look at this. It's like the colors of no hope, the conditions of no hope. How many places can you, like, in your mind that look like this? So, but I'll let them tell it.
Blocks here behind me. Now, Chief Eddie Garcia is here. He gave a press conference just a little while ago after visiting the injured officer in the hospital. We've heard that officer was shot in the chest, but fortunately was wearing a bulletproof vest, and he is expected to be okay. In fact, the chief said he was in good spirits when he saw him. People in the area say that officer was in a marked police car that we can see here at this scene with a flat tire. But this all got started around 1:30 this afternoon on Cyan Road, just under a mile from here. Officers were called to a neighborhood there where there was a report of a shooting. When they arrived, the chief says they witnessed a shooting themselves. Those officers saw a man firing into a vehicle. The suspect spotted police, jumped into a car, and took off. Officers chased him, and it was here where we are that police say the suspect whipped his car around. There was an exchange of gunfire, and the officer was hit. The suspect managed to get away, and officers are looking for him now. Here is the message Officer Chief Garcia had for him.
For the individual or his families, we will find you. I would behoove you to turn yourself in, so we can end this peacefully.
Just the last few minutes, Dallas police released pictures of the suspect and the truck that he was in during the shooting. They are hoping anyone with information on his location will...
I would say that looks more like a Mexican brother or a South American brother than a soul brother, but we can't know.
Give them a call. Now, police believe the initial shooting that they responded to was between this suspect and someone that he knew. That person, they tell me, has now died. Identities are not yet being released. Reporting live in Dallas.
Damn, that is a crappy damn. Told you, it's debauchery everywhere. And it feels like magic. Oh, this is another one. This is local.
Lakeville police officer.
This is local. I don't even know what happened to this chick, but this is local. This is a local story.
Officer is living her commitment to serve and taking it to new and unexpected levels. She was struck by a drunk driver while on patrol.
And she's now sharing the story of her injury and recovery with those who are putting their own lives back together. Tim Blatt's joining us now. And Tim, this was what service is all about.
Boy, it really is. And Lakeville officer Samantha Strandberg really exemplifies that. 2 summers ago, she suffered that traumatic brain injury when that drunk driver crashed into her. And ahead of this weekend's Walk for Thought, she is now sharing her story to inspire others with TBIs.
There's nothing that I ever wanted more than to be a police officer and give that back.
In the mornings, she is simply Samantha Strandberg, or just Sam. But starting in the afternoon, Officer Strandberg proudly patrols the city of Lakeville.
It gives me that good balance where I can stop out and play with kids in the park.
But her life suddenly changed while on patrol during a July night 2 years ago.
I never saw him coming towards me.
While in a roundabout, a drunk driver slammed into her patrol car at a speed of 100.
Wow. Look at this damage. God damn. On a roundabout. Wow. Wow, that's the engine right there. Damn.
120 miles an hour. It cut her car in half.
Look at that. Cut a cruiser in half. This is a motherfucking Explorer. It cut an Explorer in half. Look at that. Look at that.
I didn't see those pictures actually until a couple days after my crash, so I didn't know.
Car at a speed of 100.
So wow, so this doesn't really look like okay, I see what we're seeing. Yeah, it's still, engine compartment. Yeah, cut it. Wow. This is amazing. It's amazing she lived.
I didn't see those pictures actually until a couple days after my crash, so I didn't know how significant it really was until I saw those photos.
The impact knocked her unconscious, and not without injury.
My brain essentially hit one side of my skull and bounced back and hit the other side, which is why I had such significant effects from it and so many different things that were wrong with me because it damaged both sides of my brain.
She suffered from chronic migraine headaches and struggled to walk.
So I couldn't perceive like where the floor was. I couldn't perceive how far to step downstairs. I couldn't multitask. I have pretty significant issues with like short-term memory.
And then there was the depression that goes along with an injury no one else can see.
So I felt so alone and isolated because I didn't have anybody to relate to. I didn't know anybody that had a brain injury that I could talk to and relate to and have someone there for me as well.
She's in part broken through the isolation by telling her story at events sponsored by...
Okay. I'm going to say this. You think she went through all this? Ain't nobody hitting it? Because, I mean, she ain't really bad. Where's... Yeah, she ain't got nobody that's, yeah, she looks smashable, but okay, keep telling your story, girl.
I could talk to and relate to and have someone there for me as well.
She's in part broken through the isolation by telling her story at events sponsored by the Minnesota Brain Injury Alliance. Its Walk for Thought is this Saturday, and it's meant to bring together those recovering from their own brain injury.
And this walk connects you with hundreds of people who are all going through similar experiences with you, who might have had things that were successful and what wasn't, and you can bounce those ideas and build those good relationships with each other so that you have that resource and that connection.
Connections that have not only helped in Sam's own recovery, but getting her back on patrol.
Wow. 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 I don't even remember that shit. Her car was fucked up. Damn. I don't remember. Oh, they got Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins' reaction after he loses to the Eagles.
Hospital. I
don't care what Kurt thinks. Kurt, you lost. You took another L. Y'all had more, what was them called? Turnovers. Y'all was like apple turnovers. That's some pretty good stuff there. I guess it's right here. Right here. Jamar, what's happening?
Badges? We don't need no stinking badges.
And I know you got to have
vision.
Thank you for coming. There was. We lost that yesterday. They still talking about that motherfucker getting captured in Virginia. First you're scaring the shit out of anybody, but now you want to show it 1,000,000 times. Yeah, it's like and like the escape in Virginia, you see how they trying to, when I talk about how they try to keep things alive, like games, that's why bad calls in games, they want to keep people talking about it. This is the same thing with the escape. Now that it's over, they still want you to talk about it and think about it. They want it to have a life. Let me see. I thought it was, let's see. No. I thought it was here. Maybe not, but I thought, I thought it was there. Let's see. Yeah, I thought it was here, but I guess not. How do you do that? What the fuck does that mean? What does this shit mean? Venice faces possible United downgrades. It struggles to manage mass tourism. That's a bad thing? If motherfuckers want to come to your country and spend money, that's a bad thing. Nah, must not have been this shit. Where's the other fox, though? Maybe it's there. It ain't gonna help nobody to get on down. It ain't gonna hurt nobody to get on down. Don't stop me, and I won't stop you. Oh, we got to show this bullshit. Where you gonna show this bullshit? Where is it? I got these niggas crying. Oh, they didn't show his fumble. Yeah, Jefferson, you fumbled. They giving you all this props and you fumble. I thought I could see the fumble. Look at this cat. Look at this cat. He's a caricature. He's a caricature. This is hiding behind the shades. Caricature of a man. I want to see where they show. Where's the fumble? He got the ball more this week. Eagles got the ball to the tight end. It's just talking this motherfucker. And he didn't really make a difference in the game. Tough loss. Tough loss. Oh, okay. I think this is the story I was looking for right here. One of them. Oh, this is it right here. Yeah, this is kind of the happening story up here. Yeah, it's not enough, but this happened, I think, Thursday. So this is some local bullshit, but still kind of, it impacts people.
The Hastings Co-op Creamery destroying much of that building. You can see some of it here. The creamery shut down 3.5 weeks ago, forcing dairy farmers to find somewhere else to bring their products. And now it's looking like it won't reopen anytime soon. Fox 9's Rob Olson live there tonight for us. Rob, what have you learned about the fire itself today?
Well, at this point, still a little bit of smoke coming out of here, but otherwise, the fire crews have left after working on this through the night and through the day. As you mentioned, a sense of loss here for this community because this building, this creamery, had been here for more than a...
Wow. And I'll tell you, this made me think about two things. Insurance fraud is the first thing I thought about, insurance fraud. The second thing was retaliation for closing down. Making farmers have to find another source to take their milk to get it refined. I thought both thoughts, but let's see what they tell us.
This century, but as you mentioned a few weeks ago, abruptly shut down after months of issues with state regulators.
By early afternoon, the backhoe moved in, tackling the still burning parts of the Hastings Creamery that firefighters could not safely reach because that part of the roof had caved in.
And since we can't put firefighters on that roof or under that roof, we're pulling it out, putting that fire out as it comes out of the building.
Once out, it allowed fire investigators to continue their work, figuring out exactly how this fire began, destroying part of a 110-year-old Hastings fixture that had abruptly shut down just over 3 weeks ago after months of problems with the city and the state.
We just seen a ton of flames coming up. We heard big booms. Fire trucks were trying to put it out.
The fire was reported about 10:30 Wednesday night, and with heavy smoke and worries of potential anhydrous ammonia release, Hastings residents were ordered to stay inside and close their windows. 7 other fire departments assisted Hastings throughout the night. In early June, the Met Council disconnected the creamery from the wastewater system, citing them for putting thousands of gallons of milk into the sewer. They'd been trucking away their waste ever since, and then in late August, abruptly closed. State Senator Judy Seeberger, who sits on the Ag Committee, said she'd been trying to find a solution to reopen for the dozens of farmers who simply can't take their milk somewhere else.
It's not that simple. The creameries in this area are at capacity, so they really don't have the ability to take on additional farmers or add to what they're taking in terms of products. So it's really puts the dairy farmers in a terrible position with no place to bring their milk.
So again, as though they'd already been working on trying to find solutions.
Wow. So they're needed, but somebody fucked up because they got caught. And when they said that was the first thing I thought. When they said that they was having government regulation problems, I was like, yeah, they putting shit in the sewer. And then they turned around and said it. So, cutting corners, because it creates waste. You know, the creamer is going to create waste. So, interesting story. Well, we hope that the farmers find a place to take their milk. Like I say, vote for me and I'll set you free. I'll find a place to take your milk. I'll find somewhere you can take that shit. I know somebody. I know a guy that might take it. Kirk Cousin reacts. Damn, how many of y'all eat that nasty ass spam? They've been trying to get me go to the spam library, the spam museum and shit. I can't eat no damn spam. Oh, yes. Yeah, this is one. Yeah, I ain't heard about this one. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. I forgot. I caught this morning. Yeah. I show, both sides of it. Both sides. Niggas ain't saying nothing? Oh, okay. Need some posturing motherfuckers. Damn, take them that long?
We're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Steve Bayens. I'm the Commissioner of the Iowa Department of Public Safety, and I've been asked to lead off this press conference on behalf of the Algona Police Department, the Kossuth County Sheriff's Office, and the people of this community. Last night, Algona police officer Kevin Cram died serving his community. Algona police officer Kevin Cram died because he answered the call to serve. Algona police officer Kevin Cram died because he chose to be a beacon of light. Algona police officer Kevin Graham died because he was willing to stand in the gap between good and evil.
What?
Algona police officer Kevin Graham died a hero.
How many times you gonna say his name?
The Graham family have long been called to a life of public service in this community.
All right, Beat Boys, what's happening? And you definitely don't need
Badges? We don't need no stinking badges.
All right, I'm gonna let them go.
And have shown time and again that selfless dedication. Kevin embodied that, and it was an
Which they tell.
Kevin Graham.
Okay, you can say his name 1,000 times.
What Kevin was called to do.
He's saying his name like a
And that was
spell.
protect and serve.
Like almost he was sacrificed.
Tragic, heartbreaking.
I bet just the chief.
On September 13th, 2023, at approximately 7:53 p.m., Officer Kevin Cram, age 33, of the Algona Police Department, was on patrol duty in the city of Algona when he was made aware of an active arrest warrant for Kyle Rickey. The arrest warrant was for harassment through Palo Alto County, Iowa. Officer Cram knew of a possible location for Rickey and headed to that area. Officer Cram was in the 1100 block of South Minnesota Street in Algona when he observed Kyle Rickey, age 43. After advising Rickey he was going to be placed under arrest, Rickey shot Officer Cram. Officer Cram was located by other officers and local EMS and taken to Kossuth Regional Health Center in Algona, where he was pronounced deceased. Kyle Rickey was located and arrested near Sleepy Eye, Minnesota, at approximately 11:50 p.m. last night. He has been charged with one count of first-degree murder in Kossuth County, Iowa, and will be extradited at a later date. An autopsy will be performed by the Office of the Iowa State Medical Examiner in the near future. Officer Kevin Cram was a 10-year veteran of the Iowa law enforcement community, serving.
Well, this is interesting right here, though.
He was a son.
What is interesting? This tells you all you need to know about the community right here. There ain't no melanated people. And again, it's probably rural Iowa. But look at this. No melanated folks. At all. Not at the local police, not at the sheriff's department. Yeah. So this tells you everything you want to know. What did I miss down here? Not too much. So we feel sorry for your family, bro. We do. We do. We feel sorry. Because there's, something to both. Oh, okay. They show him. This is the dude. This is the dude who's the dude who's the dude who's the dude. Okay. All right. This is the dude who shot him. Right here. This is the suspect that they got. Now, Algonia. This is him. He's the one that shot him, is being charged for murder. Let's see if they show the officer. There's more of him. Let's see if they show the officer. Oh, they show you actually where it happened in Iowa. What is officer's condition? What charges? They don't show the officer. Ah, she's cute. Okay, what she got to say?
Enforcement agencies about the officer shooting late Wednesday. The State Center Police Department in Marshall County posted
Well, let's forget what she's saying. Let's just look at her. She's cute. Yeah, we like you. We like you. Your lips ain't blowed up. Your hair's whipped. We like you. We like you. All right. All right. So that's the dude who did it. Golly. Oh, my goodness. This is... Oh, they show the officer here.
If we begin with...
Yeah, they show the officer here. Let's see. Man, where is this for me? 35. Oh, this is probably 5-6 hours for me. This is probably 5-6 hours for me because I live off 35. This is all 35 going up into Minnesota. So this is terribly far from me. Let's see. They show the officer though. Okay, this is where it happened. Wow, it's out in the open like this. Damn. Oh, and that's the officer that got killed right here. 10-year veteran. Wow. Wow. Well, we're sorry for you and your family, bro. Sorry for you and your family. They're part in some West Iowa that permits murder. Wow. Wow. Well, I don't know nothing about that hardly, but that not surprised. And it ain't a lot of black folks down now. Not a lot of melanated folks down in those parts. Yeah, I remember that story. And this is guess it ain't funny, but it's like who was that? Somebody talking about if you had a key of fentanyl, you can get rich off a key of fentanyl. And I imagine you can. I was looking at the price of the cut, but I don't know. But this is very bold talking up here, and we've got a opioid epidemic, and so let's let it play.
It's unveiling a new initiative today, announcing a multi-pronged approach to tackling the fentanyl crisis.
There is no boundaries. No one is immune. No community is immune. No social.
I'm sorry, but every time I see her, y'all know what I got to do. She gets to slide. What are we doing? What are we? I mean, every time we see her, her wig does not look tight. And you can say, well, you shouldn't judge people how they look, but yes, you should. I mean, you should look tight as possible. And this is not tight, baby. This is not tight. But let's go.
Economic status is immune. We are all in this together.
Sheriff DeWanna Witt detailing the effort surrounded by families who have lost loved ones to fentanyl and other opioid-related overdoses. The aim is to increase awareness about the lethal dangers of fentanyl and how more and more of it is showing up in legal pills and drugs bought on the street. The sheriff also wants to connect the public to resources, including public health, to eliminate the stigma around drug addiction.
I'm so angry and I'm so tired of hearing the same stories. We're working on it. We're working on it. We need to see results. And you need to put that money in the communities that know how to do the work.
Hennepin County Chief Medical Examiner reports the county, on average, is now losing one resident every single day to fentanyl. 358 people died last year from fentanyl. The sheriff says law enforcement is going after the dealers who sell the drugs, explaining deadly overdoses will be investigated as third-degree murder in some cases. The Hennepin County Sheriff.
Yeah, I would agree. You couldn't just magically have a key and just think you're gonna start pumping it out there. You would have had to been hustling something else, and then you know enough people to push it out. That's possible, but with a key and you don't owe to nobody, you could slow roll it. You could slow roll it too. You could slow roll it. And it seems like you could really, okay, if it's so deadly, you should really be able to cut it a bunch of times and add something else to it. And an illusion of people thinking they get more when you just got a little bit of this in there mixed with some other, seems like that would solve some of the problem. But yeah, you would have to be established hustler in most cases. And, because you ain't giving that much to nobody. I think they said it was $100 grand for a key, somewhere around there. So you ain't just giving that to nobody and trusting them. Well, just come back when when you sell it, come back. Ain't nobody doing it like that. So yeah. Damn. Yeah, I wondered about that too. I saw that. Was that part of this? I think it is. Let's see. Let's bring that back.
The Hennepin County Sheriff's Office unveiling a new initiative to...
Okay. This, and it's probably boring. Most instances is kind of boring. But it says, man, this is a real, this is, those of you that have children, this could be like your community. Why are so many schools crumbling in majority black districts? And that goes into the tax money and shit. So let's see what they say about, why the schools up here are suffering. And let me say this, if you live in Minneapolis proper, especially if you live in North Minneapolis, but just Minneapolis, you can go to school and, it's school of choice. You can go to school where you want to go to school. Now, when we lived in Minneapolis, my boys still went to Hopkins public schools, and they got they got federal dollars or some type of state dollars for accepting these students. And, under the premise that, they would get a better education. Now, my best friend, he sent his son the last 2 years to another school that's one of the highest rated in the state, as far as education-wise. So let's see what they say about it.
Equal educational opportunities for all children. A CBS News investigation has found many schools fail that test.
The national investigative correspondent Stephen Stock uncovers one important reason: the school building gap.
But it's cold, so how can I focus? Can you please talk to the school to fix the toilets and to fix the building?
So I have to tell you, when I walk down this, I feel like I'm in a prison.
I know, right? Doesn't it? Why would your kids want to come here when it looks like you're in a prison?
Spend any time at all walking the halls of Baltimore's Franklin High with Cindy Smith.
No AC, you can feel it.
And you get a lesson in math that doesn't add up.
So this is a floor that's actually collapsing. Look along the wall. You can see it's dropped 2, maybe even 3 inches. This, folks, is an actual lab for high school students. People attend lab in this classroom.
We have a typical classroom, tack boards that are a mess, casework that needs to be replaced.
Why can't the school district do better?
Because we don't have enough money for it.
She's in charge of planning, design, and construction for Baltimore City Public Schools.
They're not fixing our school buildings, but they will fix white people's school buildings.
Dr. Richard Lofton shared with us the student feedback he gathered as part of his research project called the Nobody Asked Me campaign, documenting the impact of schools in Baltimore like this.
Wow. So you're saying the second floor is hotter than this floor?
Which he toured with us.
Wow. And I hope the people who are making decisions about education actually come into these schools and walk around and see what we've seen.
CBS stations across the country went into deteriorating schools in high poverty districts with low property tax bases. We found those districts invested on average 40% less money in buildings than richer school districts, with even larger disparities between majority white and majority black school districts. And many state governments make the disparity worse. Our analysis of federal data shows that on average, these states give majority white school districts almost 4 times more money for capital investments than majority black districts. We saw it in Maryland. Baltimore City School District, with a black population twice as high as Baltimore County School District and lower per capita income, got $19 million from local property taxes for capital spending last year. Baltimore County, $201 million. That breaks down to $1,800 per student in the wealthier, less diverse district versus Baltimore City, where it's $244. That's 7 times more.
Is this acceptable?
No, absolutely not. It's just what we have to live with.
I mean, our young people feel in many ways that they've been betrayed by society because of their voices are not being heard.
They should be feeling abandoned by the state because it's the state where the money is coming from.
Maryland already gives both the county and city school districts roughly the same amount for capital spending, $30 million. But the city school district says they need $230 million.
We can't provide the money we don't have and we don't receive. Like, how can I build this addition here if I don't get the money?
We're talking about a disparity that has roots in history.
A history that makes it hard to catch up, according to research headed by Johns Hopkins' Dr. Josh Sharfstein.
For decades, Baltimore has been disinvested. There have not been the same levels of investment in a city that is majority black than in the rest of the state. And the consequences of that are physically manifest in school buildings.
Maryland's legislature 3 years ago began trying to work on solutions.
We are investing in a more equitable system across the state of Maryland than almost any other state in the country.
Lawmakers did that by targeting $400 million for building and repairing schools in lower income and minority school districts, paid for in part by taking excess property taxes from wealthier districts and giving it to poorer districts, and by a sales tax on digital products like streaming and music. Does Maryland need to do more when it comes to funding these buildings?
Absolutely, Maryland has to do more, and we will, and we have, and we will. The plan that we've put forward is the next 10 years.
Those plans won't happen in time for these kids now.
The research shows that schools in worse condition are associated with more absenteeism of kids, more turnover of staff, more asthma attacks by the kids, and frankly, less progression academically.
In a school, you don't have potable water.
In the school, we do not have potable water.
That just, wait, that just blows my mind.
I know, right? Many of our pipes are so deteriorated that lead flows through that water, so that water is not drinkable.
So you can't drink the water.
Cannot drink the water.
You might be wondering why the federal government doesn't help.
But let's go back. And they showed something interesting. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Right there.
So I have to tell you.
All right, as you can see, Minnesota is in here. Where you know, the two cities is Minneapolis and St. Paul, the twin cities. And so they're both in separate school systems, as you can imagine. St. Paul's a separate school system. But again, if you look at the suburbs, like where my nephew graduated from, Minnetonka, and you look at the tax space out there where you got $1 million homes, and what that school looks like, and then you go to some of the schools that's in North Minneapolis. But you see, this is one of the schools the same way. I'm surprised California's like that, but Nevada, Utah, and ain't no hardly melanated people in Utah, but Indians, Mexicans, and a few brothers and sisters. Colorado, they say, is the same way. Now, this is interesting that Texas is. And again, right here, you have what, 9-10 million people live in Illinois. They're telling you that, the rest of the state, because we know it, the dark spots is right there. Or, well, let me see, you got to go here. Yeah, right here. Sorry, like right that corner right there. This corner right there is Chicago. So Alabama, not surprised. North Carolina, Virginia, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Connecticut, Maine, or Rhode Island. So, and those of you that have children, you probably see it sometimes. You probably see it. And that is a cry and a shame. Because Baltimore is really not a dead city. There's a lot of business up there. But again, we see how they punish areas by not investing in the areas, and the areas become punished. And we see how quickly they become punished. So, niggas have issues. I don't get it.
The Hennepin County Sheriff's.
Like, I don't get it. I don't have time to worry about what other people do. I really don't. What other niggas do is what they do. They ain't got shit to do with me. And I guess some people, it ain't like that for them. They always got to talk about what other niggas done did and what they doing. I guess, when that becomes, when that's the norm for you, I guess that's all you think about is defense, and then strike. Defense, and then strike. So I'm just glad I try to live above that. I don't really care what anybody says, and nor do I bring people up for the most matter. And when I bring people up, it's most of the time to give them props. Now, there's things, and I get too much to drink and I talk shit. There is that. There's no doubt I do that every now and then, but not for the most part. For the most part, I don't get worked up and, worrying about what other motherfuckers is doing and saying. And I guess I guess if you're attacked like that all the time, but what draws the attacks? Because I look at it as, if you're confident in your information and what you're saying, then what does it matter? And I guess some cats have a hard time just ignoring bullshit. They kind of got to feed into it seems. I don't know. I can't speak for the gentleman, but it just seems like it's a hard way to live. To always be in type of chaos with somebody. Oh, turn the light off. Good. Shows this green a little better. Oh. What did she say? I guess I don't know. I guess I deserve
Up yours, nigger.
I deserve that. I definitely deserve that. Oh, here we go.
Well. Gotta get a pee.
Oh, that hit so hard.
Well.
Oh, can you imagine her calling her and she answers the phone and goes,
Well.
oh, the sexy voice.
Well.
Or you could have one a little free more spirit and she goes, oh, you be intrigued. It's like, what, baby? Oh, you talking about what? That's my language, baby. That's my language. California's like that too. I went to public schools there. Wow. You have to be committed there just to get through. Wow, 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 wow. Oh. So, if you're facing that and you have the opportunity, to educate your child yourself, which a lot of people are going to, because, you can be quite, you can put quite a load, you can go through quite a lot. I'm pretty sure when my daughter graduates, she'll have her associate's degree too. So it'll be 2 years down already when she graduates from high school. So, and if she truly, follows what she claims she wants to follow now, it'll be 6, 8 years. She'll be able to knock all that out. So, it'd be like 2 years, get the bachelor, another 2 years, get the master's, and if she wants to go forward, get that. So, yeah, that's kind of how it works. That's kind of how it works. So, if you see that and you can help, or and like this is where, like, a lot of times the Panthers would step in and community would step in and say, what can we do? What can we fix with the money we have? And there's a lot of red tape into doing that kind of thing. But I think that's better than nothing. I think that's better than nothing. If there's community and your children are involved in this school and you have some skills and you have some resources and you can fix some problems in the schools, I don't see how that they can be against that. And maybe it's a way you could even get some federal money kicked back to you or some state money kicked back to you if you do that. Say, okay, I'm gonna do this work, state, whenever you get good, you kick me back down. Maybe give me some work in the future. I mean, there's a lot of ways to solve certain problems. And if your child is, cold or your child is hot, I mean, it is shown it's hard for them to concentrate. So that's all. And it's where you live. It's a song by Too Short called "Bad Way," my bad ways, and he says, "My mother regretted what she's done because she moved us to the ghetto slum." What she exposed her children to because of her economical situation. On the bad ways. I think that's how it goes. My mother regretted what she done by moving us to the ghetto slums. And I remember my mother, if it wasn't really for having a childhood illness, she would have probably moved me and her to California. More than likely. Now my dad was supposed to go too. So, the way my dad was, he was an atomic dog. So I don't know. But my mother was solid. She had been working for Bell when Bell was a telephone company. And she was just going to transfer to one of the other places. But because of a childhood illness, they wouldn't allow her to transfer. So, but I just often think, what would that economical platform been for me if we would have moved there? And what's interesting is my brother, this was far my brother and I are 6 years apart. This was far before, he was thought. I was like 2 when we went out there and stayed 7, 8 months. My mother trying to, get a job, or we stayed 6 months. So it's just funny, the possibility of where I would have ended up. I would have been prime where the gang started picking up in California. And again, I don't quite remember the area, but it was kind of around LA somewhere. And again, in the early 60s, parts of LA was still, I mean, even if you studied like Crenshaw and then when Bunchy Carter was growing up, and you can look at when the Bush family at one time owned land in Watts. So it wasn't always super bad. The Bushes had property and lived in Watts for a while. But the President Bushes, the CIA, those people, they lived in Watts at one time. So, so yeah. But you know what? My arms don't hurt. My knees don't hurt. And I feel pretty good still. I kind of hate not really going out there and getting it and stuff. But doesn't hurt to rest either. So I had a pretty productive day today. It was cool. Got to see as I mentioned, saw my daughter play tennis, and that was cool. And then Yeah, yeah. So, and I thought I was gonna hear from my son because I thought he was supposed to go out, and I guess they didn't turn the heater onto the pool, so the pool was cold. My great nephew swam for about 45 minutes, and he said it was too cold, but he swam. But I guess they put the cover on and had the heater on, but I guess it's still the water is 80 degrees. Outside is 75 degrees, and if the water is only 78 degrees, it's cold when you get in. It's like taking a bath, cold bath. Shocks your system. So, but he was a brave trooper. But you know, I want to make videos about these games and stuff. So, but it wasn't really a lot of videos to really make other than the Tom Dempsey. When he kicked that field goal, they showed that 61 yards. I'm like, oh, this is a Tom Dempsey reference. So I knew when he kicked when it was a 61-yard attempt, I already knew that he was gonna make it. And so it was easy to see that was a Tom Dempsey reference. And still, Tom Dempsey's kick was longer than all their kicks because if you took from the goal line all the way back, he's deeper on the field than I think any other kick has been. Because his kick now would be 70. Well, yeah, where it is now, it'd be equal to a 73-yard kick. So his 61-yard kick would be considered a 71-yard kick. Where he kicked it from would be equal to 71 yards now, because he kicked it in the old where the field goal was on the goal line and not in his current spot in the end zone. It was actually on the goal line. If you watch, and I put all my books up because they came and looked at the crib and estimated. But I would show a picture of and maybe I can find the old picture when the goal line was on when the let's see, goal post on yard line. Let's see if I could see this. No. This is some BS. This is. Oh, I do have something else to speak of, though. This ain't it, though. See if I can find old football. This is some cool old football looking shit, though. But I don't see anything on the yard line. That shit's real cool looking. I could get lost watching this shit all day. But it doesn't show me. What about this? That doesn't really. This shot doesn't show me either. Oh, right here. This is it. Yeah, right here. This shows it. See? Right here. It's on the goal line. And this is not the old, this is, well, yeah, definitely old fashioned, but do you see how this is on the goal line? So Tom Dempsey's kick was technically 61 yards back from here. But if you place this where the current one is, his kick would be equal to 73 yards. So it's further back. I don't think anyone has ever tried a 70-yard field goal. But see, but I like all this old football shit. It was kind of some cool pictures. It's more than a game. Man, look at this shit. This ain't glamorous shit. This is whoop your ass and be in there and bump heads. I mean, these motherfuckers is gladiators, gladiator actors. Gladiator actors, you know? But look how cool this shit is. It looks cool, though. Look how the Rams look back in the probably early 60s, mid-60s. Cool kind of shit. And look at this mug. This is Bobby Lane. when he was with Pittsburgh. Bobby Lane won a couple championships with Detroit. There was a story where he got sacked one time, and when he went back in the huddle, he kicked the lineman in the leg and told him every time he'd beat his ass if he didn't block for him. Oh, remember Tony Franklin? Tony Franklin kicked without a shoe. In this kind of reality breakdown, in Philadelphia, Tony Franklin kicked without a shoe. And this is kind of a reality breakdown. Now, you know you can't run and chase people with one shoe on and one shoe off. But like, why would you even in your whole life practice this way? I mean, does this really make sense in any kind of way? That his whole life he only practiced without a shoe. And this does look like a shoe is flying. Yeah, looks like the shoe, maybe, I don't know. This looks like a shoe right there. But Tony Franklin did kick without a shoe. Is it more of him? Oh, and this is Tom Dempsey. And this is another part about Tom Dempsey. Half a foot, he had half an arm. But yet he had the longest field goal ever with a half a foot and half an arm. But damn. What is this, Tony Franklin? Wow. There is a shoe right there. So his shoe fell off, but I remember him kicking without a shoe. Now I often wondered how. But look at this. Look at this old time football. This says rough and tough. This is how nasty the converted fields was. This is old Shea Stadium where they played in the Queens with the Mets. Look how nasty football used to be. That's a sweet eagle. This is Montgomery. Yeah, Wilbert Montgomery. He was sweet till he got hurt. Look at Norm Snead. Norm Snead on the motherfuckers. This is what made me be an Eagle fan right here, Roman Gabriel. The first game I saw in Tiger Stadium, he was the quarterback, and they didn't have this helmet. They had the old-fashioned, like this. He looked like this. When I saw him as a boy, he looked just like this. Roman Gabriel. And they was playing the Lions because we had a friend, a dude named Vern Davis. Vern got hurt, but he was at the game. And I saw this big 6'5" motherfucker with this single bar. Yeah, I've been a fucking Eagles fan since then. Motherfucking Roman Gabriel on the motherfuckers. He was American Indian, but he played with the Rams for a number of years. But yeah, motherfucking Roman Gabriel. He looked like that. I wonder, you know what? I wonder, I'm gonna have to say, I didn't dig my high school football coach. I got into it with him. I still don't think he's shit. Even this man probably in his 80s, he still to me ain't shit. He's the only man probably in the world I hate. But Vern, on the other hand, was a really good dude. I was thinking about that earlier. He was a really solid dude. Right now, his son is a preacher. But Vern tried to tackle Grant Hill's daddy, and it destroyed his knee. I've seen it on film. And his knee was literally like this big. And so it ruined his career. And this is a big cat. This cat is like 6'5". Now, I don't know if we can find any on Vern. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, it brings up Vernon Davis. Yeah, not him. It's not this dude. He's a much older dude. And I thought about this earlier. If I looked him up, it would probably come. Let me see. Vernon Davis. Eagles. No, that ain't him either. It says Vern. Oh. This is him. I found him. All right. This is one of my mentors. Right here. Yeah. Vernon Charles Davis is a former All-American football defensive back who played one season in the NFL for the Philadelphia Eagles. He played college football at Western Michigan University. Davis was born in 49 in Dowagiac, Michigan. Now, this is an interesting story about him. This is where I was born. I was born in Dowagiac, Michigan. This cat played high school. This cat grew up with my uncle. This guy grew up with my uncle, played basketball and football, and played at Western Michigan University for, I think, probably couldn't play his freshman year, but played the 3 years after. Played 1 year with the Eagles, tore up his knee. But yeah, this was like, and I'm gonna tell you, like, he used to still hoop with us with one knee, because he could still jump. Like, he could play fight. He couldn't play up and down, but if we played fight, he would play with us. And still, he's 6'5", and just jumping with one leg. But I bring him up because I told the story before. I played quarterback up until my freshman year, but my 8th grade year, I broke this finger in 2 places, and I really couldn't throw the ball after that. I mean, until I got much older, I literally threw the ball like this with 3 fingers. And so sometime the ball would twirl on me. It would twirl like a helicopter. It's because I didn't have the strength in this finger. It didn't come till much later. But I was technically throwing a ball with 3 fingers. And so, they wanted to switch me to receiver, and Vern took the time. He took the time to show me how to run outs. He started with outs and curls. And for me to go from 11th, 12th grade, switching positions to getting a college scholarship, most people that wouldn't even happen for. I'd only played receiver 2 years prior to me going into my freshman year. Now, I probably caught 40 balls maybe them 2 years. I probably caught 25 balls a year, something like that. We passed quite a bit in high school. We passed more in high school than when I was in college. But this cat right here is, this cat right here, he attended Dowagiac High School where he graduated. So he was a year older than my uncle. My uncle graduated in 68, I think. After graduating, he went to Western. He played 3 seasons varsity football, earning letters in 68, 69, 70. As a junior 69, he was named second team all conference. As a senior, he was named co-captain and had 7 interceptions, including one for 100 yards. Davis was included in the edition Who's Who in the American College and Universities. After unselected 17 draft, he was signed by the Eagles. He made the final roster and appeared in the first 3 games before being released. His only statistic record was a fumble. He wore 16 with the Eagles. Oh, now that I did not know. He was released because he got hurt. Yeah, and that's all they got. He got a career. I mean, he got he's a teacher. Matter of fact, he's got his master's degree. So he's because he'd be more my uncle's age. Now, I thought my uncle was born in 51. So a year or so older than my uncle, but he was 6'4". High school, Western. But he's a retired principal now. So I found my friend. Okay, his name was Vernon. Yeah. But yeah, he tore his knee up. That's why he quit playing. He tore his knee up. He tried to tackle Calvin Hill and tore his knee up. So thank you, Wikipedia, for finding my old mentor. And I remember they bought, like, my neighborhood was like the neighborhood I grew up in. Well, yeah, from 10th grade on wasn't very many melanated people. And he had a home built out there. But the thing about it was that home he picked had stairs. And I know he became a principal. And when he became a principal, but I know he ended up, one of the last times I saw him, I stopped by the house because he lived by us. And so it was one of the years I stopped by his house. And he was, I noticed they had to move because he was having trouble with the stairs. Because his knee, I don't exaggerate. His knee was something like, it looked like, I don't even know I can't even describe it. It didn't even look like a normal leg. I mean, his leg it looked like a knot like this big, where a knee should be, it looked like a knot. He could still, I guess, bend a little bit, but he was pretty straight-legged walk. He didn't bend it a lot. So again, this is 70, 71 when he got hurt. But he made the team and was starting. He started, I think, the 3 games. And then he got hurt. And so that's why he was released. He was released because he got hurt. A lot of times after they say you're okay, because when we saw him, he was on the sideline when they played the Lions. So yeah, Dowagiac High School. But I know he played with my uncle. But yeah, he was from the same little town I was from. But he wore 16. Okay, I did not know that. Actually, I thought it was number 27. Shit, I guess you can find anybody. I guess you can find anybody. Well, that was good to find him. That was one of my mentors, and that was a good dude. You know, so often we talk about, you know, people that wasn't cool in our lives, but I don't think often enough we talk about when we came across really solid people. And, you know, and I think, you know, in his own way, because he also tutored me in math. He taught math. He taught algebra and geometry in high school. And so I think that's what he had a master's degree in math. And so he actually tutored me. When I took his class, he actually tutored me too. So didn't judge me. He said, "You're not getting this." And they didn't know I had dyslexia then. And he was like, "Okay." He's like, "This is what," you know, and he spent the time until I got it. I passed his class. So he was a good dude. And too often, you know, we don't talk about the good people. You know, we tend to talk about negative people. But, you know, I did grow up around some solid guys. And he was one of them. So shout out to him. Shout out to him, whatever he's doing. It's funny. His son remembers me, you know, because I stopped by their house, you know, enough times where his son was like even younger, I think, than my brother. And again, you know, he's 10 years younger than my mother. So, you know, it's his child, you know, appropriate to his age. His son is probably still in his 50s, so. Yeah, his son's probably still in his son's probably in his late 40s, early 50s. He ain't a real young cat, but he's a big time minister down in North Carolina. He probably, I forget what you would be in church, but he's up there in the church. And I think it's the Baptist church. So I see his ads every now and then because he, you know how I feel spiritually, and he's in the church, you know, so, but whenever there's things, you know, I have questions about his dad, and every now and then I was like, "How your dad doing?" Because that was one person I really did have love for because he was solid. And so, you know, I talk about this all the time. If you have a chance to be solid in somebody's life, do that. Take advantage of that. Do that. As I said, you know, my great nephew, you know, we lost his father last January, and so, you know, me and my brother-in-law, you know, we're kind of there for him. He lives with his uncle, his dad's brother, and his dad's mother. He lives with them, so he does have them as role models. But it's good that he has me, and it's good that he has my brother-in-law too. So he has a lot of different men around him that spend time with him. Because he swam in my brother-in-law's pool all summer. I mean, he taught himself how to swim. And so my brother-in-law invested in me more than most of the time. He rode with me and my girl and my daughter. Even if she wasn't with us sometimes, he went with us. Like if she wasn't with me, was with her mother, she would go. If we went out to swim or just went out there to kick it. And we're going out there again on the Canelo. We're definitely going to watch the Canelo fight. So I'll probably be talking shit about that in a couple weeks, the Canelo fight. You know, I'll be on fights. Watched Strickland fight last weekend. And it looks like Strickland and Alexander are going to fight again. So we'll watch that. But the Canelo fight in a couple weeks should be a pretty big fight. I think Sly said he thought Charlo was going to beat him. I don't know. I don't know if I have an opinion yet. I'm going to wait another week or so to give my opinion. I've been watching them both kind of train too. So I think it's going to be an interesting fight, though. I think it's going to be a real interesting fight. I don't know. Charlo has been off. He's been off a year at least. So how sharp can he be? You can, you know, get in the gym, but we'll see how sharp he can be after a long layoff. Canelo, you know, he's been fighting more. But when he went up, I think he lost. He lost to what, the heavyweight or light heavyweight, which naturally he's not that big a dude. So it's quite a feat if you can do it. So, but yeah, if you can, so yeah, man, we all fellowship. I called my brother-in-law, like, I have to stay here. This games be, kind of business for me. If I can make a little short clip and just maybe one or two clips, that's what I do, just to point out the obvious. And that's what I do, just to point out the obvious. It's like a little reminder, just in case you forget that this shit ain't real. That it ain't real. Just a little reminder to let you know that this shit ain't real. That's all. Because we get, and now, it's the betting, the betting aspect of it, which seems almost more alluring to bet now. That seems real more alluring. And that's how we get us, the people that know that the sports are rigged. That's kind of how they get us. They get us by, right now, what was the bet thing they said the whole game? Bet 5, get $200 in credit. They said that even if your team, the bet they gave, they said if your team is up by 7, you win. No matter what the final score. You get paid off if your team gets up by 7. And for some people, that seems like that's a little bit of success. But again, that's to get you in. That's to get you in. Because if I've said many times, the egghead man in the room, he's got the screens going. He's seeing every bet put in, and that's how he's fixing these games. And now with the betting being a bigger, well, I can't say it's bigger, but now with betting being legal for most, you don't get the wire fraud anymore. So, I mean, it's more of a theatrics. And the gamblers have a bigger hold than they've ever had. Because now it's late. And you got to really look at it. Now that it is legal, I mean, the odds are greater because you have to see it that the fix is even greater now. That the fix is even greater. And so I just show that little bit. But for those of you that are so inclined to bet, I mean, that's the allure too. You already know that it's fixed. So how are they fixing it this week? How can you pair up with what the egghead man in the little room is planning? How can you counteract him? Because he sees your bet, but how can you hide or hedge your bet so you can get the outcome or you can follow the outcome that he will end up doing? And that's what it's been. It's the egghead man. It's like you see this character in Hoodlums, Dutch Schultz man that says when they want to take over policy. That's him. You see him, when you see the creator in the Matrix. This is the egghead man. And this ain't no God. See, in the Matrix tries to make that character that you first see in Hoodlums, that you later see in the Matrix, they try to make him God because he's the egghead man that can plan it all out. And I guess, for sports, this could be a sports god. That's that's the egghead man. Because I'm sure the egghead man, I mean, he could be an egghead man that lives forever. We just don't know. That's very possible that this egghead man lives forever. But he's been working it out for a long time. Yeah, Tony Franklin kicked without a shoe. Now, I don't know why that picture is a shoe flying, but he kicked, because he kicked at Texas. Tony Franklin at first kicked with Texas without a shoe. Bet we can find that. Tony Franklin at Texas. See? Oh, here we go. I'm sorry. Here's a picture of him in college. Texas A&M. Yeah, kicking without a shoe. Now, I don't see any others with him. But yeah, that's him in college, kicking without a shoe. Let's see, did they? Because there's a shoe there, so I wonder, I don't know. I wonder why the shoe's there. Because he kicked without his shoe. And I don't see any other pictures of him other than that other one. But this is him in college. And there doesn't appear to be any other pictures of him. All right. But yeah, that's him kicking in college. So he kicked without a shoe, college and pro. But, and that goes into why would you train like this? Like your whole life. Can you imagine like some of the high school fields? And this cat, younger than me, but not by much. I'd say probably within 10 years younger than me. But like, why would you even train like this? Like, why would you, like, this does not come from playing soccer. There's no way you could play with people with cleats on and you didn't have a shin guard. So like, why was he taught like this? Because someone had to teach him like this. And why was that encouraged? That's the biggest thing. Is like, why was this encouraged? So that's really crazy. It's like, who would encourage that? Who would teach a child that? And like, you notice it ain't taught anymore. It ain't taught anymore. But yeah, there's no other pictures of him. Yeah, that little bit. Those are the only two pictures. And this is a brother y'all probably ain't never heard of. He had one of the best nicknames. Y'all probably ain't heard of this brother. This brother's name, this is up in Washington. This is Sonny Six Killer. That was his nickname, Sonny Six Killer. I think he played in the Arena Football League, but if you never heard of Sonny Six Killer, on my old channel, I would use this name sometimes as a header, Sonny Six Killer. But that's Sonny Six Killer, Indian brother. Isn't that the only picture of him? Yeah, it looks like it. And this is an interesting picture here. This is Dave DeBusschere playing with the Detroit Pistons. What people don't realize is Dave DeBusschere played pro baseball too. So he played pro baseball, pro basketball. He played pro basketball. When he's playing with the Pistons, he's also the player coach. He's more well known winning 2 championships with the Knicks. But he was actually he played pro baseball and he was a player coach. When he coached the Pistons, when he played with the Pistons, he was the coach. It's like Bill Russell later was. And don't get me started on Pistol Pete. Don't get me started on Pete. Look at that perfect jump shot. Look at that, perfect. Got Pro Keds on here. It looks like Pro Keds, I think, are Red Stars. But look at that jumper, just perfect. Man, look at David Thompson. That's why they called him Skywalker. And you know, what you have to see in David Thompson is the energy was passed to Michael Jordan. This is the same Michael Jordan energy. It's just David Thompson was my size. But if you looked at the energy, the way the energy was passed, it went from David Thompson to Michael Jordan. And, you know, cocaine and other things, but really narcotics kind of took away from David Thompson, no doubt. He was thrown down the stairs of Studio 54, fucked up his knee, and he wasn't really never right after that. But I mean, look how, not that tall, but look how he's into hoop. And these is Blazers. I think these is Blazer Nikes. But just look at that. This is the dunk contest. And I said before, the best dunk, like everybody raves about Dr. J's dunk from half court, but David Thompson did a dunk, and this one is not filmed for some reason, but they described it. And what they described is he cannonballed, he went baseline, and maybe they do show this. They might show this. They might show this one. No, I think they do show it. But if you look at what he does, he cannonballs in the air. And yeah, this might be his first dunk. He goes baseline. Well, no, his first dunk, he does a 360, and I think he misses. but he does the dunk where he cannonballs, and when he he jumps in the air like a tight cannonball, and then he comes out of it and dunks it. But there's a picture where his knees is like tucked before, he's jumping in the air where his knees are tucked. And I doubt I could find that one. But and you can also say that the energy from David Thompson and a little bit of Dr. J too. Because no matter what you say, this Dr. J, that's, holding the ball out like that. And for Showtime, boy, y'all watching Showtime, the Cooper, that's Caldwell Jones, and then that's Magic. It's probably in one of the finals. And I told the story about Zelmo Beatty. No, that's Zelmo Beatty. No, it's Joe Caldwell I was talking about, not Zelmo Beatty. And this is another guy from Michigan. This is Chet Walker. He's from Benton Harbor, Michigan, and he's got on pro kids. He played with Wilt in the '67 championship, but he's probably more known. Well, I ain't even gonna say known more, but Chet played with Wilt, but he also played with Bob Love in the early Bull teams. And yeah, I met Chet. Wow, I was a little boy, but yeah, I've known. Well, I think he's passed. I think Chet has since passed. I mean, I could just talk about this stuff all day and all night. I still have great passion for this stuff. I mean, just look how artistic this looks. I mean, it's like you look at basketball as being like jazz. I mean, just look at his feet and look at this artisticness. Look at just the artisticness of what he's doing and the way he's moving compared to the way everybody else is moving. I mean, you can see that it's something special here. But the ABA was known for dunking. I mean, he floating on these mugs. Whoever that is, floating on these mugs. And this is a great shot of Dr. J going up against Kevin McHale is on the other side and Larry Bird, and he dunking on him. This is a great shot here. He dunks on these mugs. And he's older here, and he's got the extra high. I forget what these extra high cons are called, but these are the extra high ones. They release these every now and then. They release these extra high ones. And for a while, they tried to give Dr. J his own shoe. At one point, I remember I had the jersey, the shorts, and the shoes. They tried to give Dr. J his own shoe. Matter of fact, I'll probably find that. Let's see if I can find that. Yeah, right here. Here they are. They show a children's version, but it was these right here. I don't know. Y'all remember these? The Dr. J's? These was Dr. J 2000. Yeah, this would be right. Yeah, these was Dr. J 2000. And Matt might have been even older. Yeah, let me see. Britain was, yeah. This is what they look like. And the clothing, it was a clothing line that went with them. Do y'all remember them? These Dr. J's? And these are the Dr. J's, the extra high tops that you can get. They release these every now and then. You can get this pair. But yeah, this was the clothing line. Yeah, this was the clothing line right here. Doesn't say, yeah, but this is, I remember I had a pair like this. I had a pair and I had the clothing. The clothing was blue and red, white, and blue, but mostly blue. I'm surprised that they didn't show the clothing in this. Anybody remember them? Someone threw them down the stairs. He said someone threw them down the stairs. Yeah, those was pretty beat up. And they still tried to sell them. But yeah, I had a pair of those. Y'all remember these motherfuckers? I had a pair of these. Yeah, these is hit. But again, we talking about 23-year-old shoes. These is definitely hit. Well, yep, I definitely had this pair, no doubt. They weren't this small. They were 13s. I probably wore 12s. 12s or 13. Maybe I wore 12s. Yeah. Oh, and I had these too. I love these. I had the blue ones. I had the patent leather blue ones like this. Yep. This was a great pair of shoes. This was a great pair of shoes. You can get them in that blue patent leather. Yeah, these were nice. These the Grand Hills, Detroit. Like when I tell you that no one wore Nikes during Grand Hill, no one wore Nikes during Grand Hill. And if you didn't have on these, you wore the low tops. Now I didn't wear this shit. I wore the clothes, but these shoes was trash. I knew the shoes was trash. They even had Timberland like looking boots that was Fila's. But yeah, the shoes were trash. Fila's shoes were trash. These shoes were trash. I never bought the shoes. I love the gear though. I love it, but yeah, this was, let me see, this is the red pair, but these ain't patent leather. My pair were patent leather. This was my least, I didn't buy these. These are ugly. These are ugly. This first edition was ugly. These were ugly. I didn't like these. I never bought that pair. They was ugly. This pair was ugly. Never bought those. But I had these in patent leather blue. And these, when they first came out. These were better than the Jordans. When these came out, I think this was the first colorway they came out in, was this. When these came out at first, yeah, they're Jordan, like this stuff right here, this Hexaline. Shaq came out with a pair before this that had the Hexaline. Yeah, Nike made nothing like this. As far as foot comfort, Nike couldn't match this. Foot comfort. And I would dare say, when these came out, they were just as popular as any Nike. The fuck is this? Yeah. So, trying to think. I've had these when they first came out. I bought them in North Carolina. I bought a pair of 12 and a halves, which are generally for the teams. Never bought the pennies. Didn't care for these. I did buy, well, I have the blue ones like these. I have this pair. Showed that before. Where I did have these, the trainers. I bought these trainers. They're not as comfortable as the originals, even though they got the double max, but not very comfortable shoes in my opinion. Never really liked these. Yeah, fuck these. Never liked those. Never thought they were good shoes either. Never thought they were good shoes. They weren't very comfortable. This one either. Oh, these are the BKs, which ain't nothing but copy of Jordan 2s, Jordan 3s. That's all those are. Copy of Jordan 3s. My children, I bought my boys. I think we got pictures of them when they was little wearing them. Yeah, I'm a sneakerhead I'm a sneakerhead like a mug. I'll never buy a pair of these, though. I'll never buy them. This shit, I don't know how y'all walk in these. There ain't nothing in them. These are not walk around shoes to me. My dogs would be barking wearing them. Yeah, I could look at shoes forever. Y'all know how I am. I could look at shoes forever. And dress shoes too. Let's see. Reebok questions. Fila Stackhouses. Yeah, there's trash shoes. Shoes were trash. They were trash. Filas are trash. I wouldn't buy Filas. I saw these. They didn't have my size. I almost bought a pair of these. Yeah, look at this. 216. I could have got them for $30 if they'd have had my size. It was this pair right here. When I bought those crazy ones, they had a pair of these, but they wasn't my size. You know, I'm a shoe junkie. I am a shoe junkie, y'all. I could look at this shit all night. I do need to buy a pair. I got a Reebok outfit, but most Reebok shoes now are too narrow. I can't wear them because they're too narrow. Is this? Now, Shaq made one. Yeah, this was the one before the Hexalite. This isn't the one with the Hexalite. Yeah, he made it. Let me see if they show the ones with the Hexalite in it. Shaq's with Hexalite. Nope. They don't. You know, I could talk about shoes all day. Shoes are like one of my just hobbies. It's just one of my hobbies. Shoes and the players. And you know, the 8 million stories, you know? So that's the thing with the world is niggas think they story is original, and most of the time the stories is like repeats. Like this is like me and PJ would talk about this, but like we would talk about our stories and what happened to us, and it's similar stuff. It's like, how could similar things happen to both of us? How is it? Like, how is it? And me being quite a bit older than him, how could we sit there and talk about common stories of what happened to us and things that got in our way in our athletic careers? How is it that we both experience similar things? Oh shit, I found it. Okay, yeah, I found this ugly shit. Yeah, I found this ugly shit. I had this forever. This was the Dr. J top right here. And it came with matching pants. The pants looked just like this. It had a star on your leg. But yeah, it's ugly shit right here. You could have the Converse shoes. The Converse shoes. I had it all. I had this. Oh yeah, I forgot it did have Dr. J on there. But they had pants to match. I had this shit with the pants to match. Yeah, all this shit. But it was the Dr. J. They were trying to get on, what Jordan had. And even though that this guy released with Dr. J was, well retired, but they was trying to compete with Jordan. And, I think I even had this t-shirt. Yeah, I even had the t-shirt. Well, I even had this. I had this one too, because I could wear the shorts with it. And the funny thing about it, I think I laid it away at Champs. I laid all this shit away. I think I bought the shoes and I laid the clothes away all at one time. Back then they let you lay some shit away. I could get it the next check. Or the next bag I sold, whatever was the case back then. And it feels like magic. Dun, 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 dun. Like magic. Dun, 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 dun. And you know that Nike owns Converse now. If you didn't know that, Nike owns Converse. That's why you go into Converse or the Nike app, you'll see Converse sold. But yeah, these weren't very good shoes. These shoes right here weren't very comfortable. Weren't very comfortable at all. I wore these my senior year. Wasn't much difference. I should have bought the Nikes were better than these, but the Pro Kids, I turned these in. I turned in my Pro Kids to get these, but with the blue check. Weren't very comfortable. They weren't really that much more comfortable than the canvas ones. Even though it's a sturdier shoe, right in here, there's nothing. At least for my feet. Hurt my feet. Motherfucking Fly Williams. Y'all had to look up Fly Williams. I think he was a heroin addict out of Austin P. Yeah, Fly Williams played at Austin P. But I think he was a heroin addict that played in the league. Chicago boy Terry Cummings played with Mark Aguirre at DePaul. And you got your 30-30 man, the dude who led the league in scoring with 30 points and led the league in assists, wearing the type of shoes that I had the blue pair in 7th grade, I had the red pair in 8th grade. And they would turn your colors, your socks, the colors of the shoes when your feet got wet. And this is a man, this man, I was reading, wow. I read an article about him the other day. And this makes me so mad in the 76 fix. This man was so dominant. I was reading his rookie year. Like, this man averaged, I think, 30 points a game his rookie year. But he was like 25 rebounds. Like, his rookie year, he had some 50, 60-point games. But every game, he had 25. So it was like he was getting all the boards. All the boards. And then he plays in that 76, and he didn't do shit. And this is my man, Bob Shakadoo. Bob McAdoo. Love Shakadoo. I went to school with his niece, Pam Shakadoo. And this is where I copied the name, the Human Eraser. Marvin Webster was the Human Eraser. When I used to coach, that's what I block all my children's shots. And I forget that Sam Perkins is a year behind me. See, this is a year before Michael Jordan. Worthy went pro after, I think, his junior year. This is Sam, I think, freshman year. Jimmy Black. I think Jimmy Black was younger than me, too. He might have been a year older than me. Doherty's my age. Worthy's my age. Sam's a year younger. And I think Jimmy Black and he might be a year older. But this is before Michael Jordan. And then we see here, this is next year. Worthy's gone. And Michael Jordan and Perkins is there. And this is where they got beat by Indiana, if y'all remember. They got beat by Indiana in the first or second round. That's how they fixed it. And then the Jordan rules, where they're letting him, fouling his ass hard. Oh, take me from this crazy place. Look up. Let's see. Look up the bogus 5. All right. Oh, burgundy 5s. Okay. Ooh. You are not a nice person. PJ, you are not a nice person. You shouldn't have showed me these. Why? Why you had to show me these? No, I'm not showing these. I gotta turn my whole, I'm ending the show on this. Why did you have to show me these? Oh, these are stiff. A whole page of stiff. Ooh, look at them there. I do like those. Oh, they just came out. They came out last month. Okay. Man, I like those. Ooh, and this is the color. This is the fall color. Fall and winter color. You're going to see a lot of things this color. Man, those are stiff. Look at the jersey. Ooh, I like this. Yeah, I like these. Damn, as much as they're not comfortable, I like them because they look so nice. Ooh, these are stiff. Damn, I like these. I'm at the, why did you have me look these up? You knew I would like them. I couldn't resist. I don't need that. What sizes they got? A lot of time. Let's see if they all sold out. No, these are little boy ones. These are little boy ones. Wow, LS Burgundies. These are stiff. I like these. I cannot lie. I gotta find a coat. I want to get a Nike coat this color. Yeah, I like these. What are these? What's these? Oh, it's these down here. Oh, I kind of like these. Limited run of Bespoke Burgundies Air 5s. Wow, I really like those. Cheese Bespoke Burgundy Air 5s. I like these too. Wow, a little different. I can look at shoes all night, but man, I like those. I like those. Those are stiff. And look at this. As soon as I say this is the color, Commercial. But they were showing a dude from Men's Warehouse. I gotta go get my damn suit from Men's Warehouse. Huh. Oh, here's a color. $20 off? Okay. I like this. I like this a lot. They do not need to. I like this. This isn't bad. I like that tweed. Who makes this? Wilk Rodriguez. Okay. Man, Warehouse will have you stiff. But yeah, I like those. I definitely. Oh, look at that with the pants. Ooh, with the pants. I like those better. I like those better than any of these. I think these are really popular. Those, but man, these stand up. I like this blue. This is a pretty blue. Yeah, you shouldn't have had me look at these. And I've said it before. These were the best pair they produced. Yeah, this pair was the best pair they produced. This pair right here. They were the best. Followed second by this pair. Followed second by this pair. When they originally put these out, this was the best pair of Jordans I'd ever had. I had I had two of these. I had the red, black. Maybe they got them. I had the red and black, where this was all red. But the best pair was the Carolina Blues, and that pair, because the black pair had more nubuck. Like this was nubuck, and maybe it was nubuck in here. I don't quite remember. But the Carolina Blue pair was a more white pair, and it had. But this was the best pair when they were new. That Jordan hadn't made a better pair. And as I told the story before, Jordans to this day, Nikes, if there's a problem with them, you can send them back in and they'll give you, if it's a problem with the manufacturing, they'll give you a new pair. Now, what's interesting is on the new LeBron 21s, they give you this double right here. They give you the double eyelet. The 20s have the single eyelet, but the doubles. And this was a comfortable pair. I didn't think this pair was as comfortable. I thought when they came out with this pair, it was a step down. I didn't think this pair was as comfortable. Yeah, I had these. Yep, absolutely. I had these. Yep, this is the pair. And I gave somebody these. When I got done hooping, I gave somebody these. The original, when they came out. I had all these, on a big rack, like a shelf in the basement. And, my son would come to me like, yeah, so-and-so just got out of prison. He ain't really got any clothes. He's like, he wear 12, 13s, you got any? And I gave this to him. And I think he got killed. I think the guy I gave these to ended up getting killed. But yeah, I had these. I definitely had those. Do they show the Carolina pair? Nah. But that was my favorite pair. As far as hooping wise, as a pure hoop shoe, that was my all-time favorite pair of hoop shoes. And you get them now, and they're not the same shoe. They are not the same shoe. This ugly shit. They gave me this ugly shit right here. $400. That's a joke. These was the worst pair. These 15s was the worst pair. To go from the 14s to the 15s, this was the worst pair they ever made. I mean, it wasn't comfortable. Like you would think it would be more comfortable shoe, wasn't comfortable. The grip was horrible. And I forgot about how bad the grip was in these. These were horrible grips. Like almost, I tell a story where when I bought some Jordan 5 knockoffs. And back in the 04, the knockoffs was pretty good. But the problem was the bottoms. And you couldn't stop. It was just fucked up bottoms. These was the same way. These had the fucked up bottoms. This is an ugly shoe. I couldn't believe they were talking about, you can buy this shoe again. Who would pay that much for these ugly shoes? These is ugly. Now I got the current shoes. These are comfortable. These are comfortable. These are super comfortable. And I wouldn't mind buying another pair of these. I think I could even play pickleball in these. But I can't spend this on these when they got the 38s coming out. The 38s are out. The new Jordans just got released, so I'm going to end up getting them. Yeah, you know, I could look at basketball shoes all day. Well, I like those. I didn't know they had it in this colorway. I really like this colorway. Yeah, I like that colorway. But yeah, these motherfuckers here, boy. This was like they just said fuck it when they released these. They just said fuck it. We just don't care about you. I was so disappointed. And these came with spats. Remember, this pair came with a spat. So if you just wanted to walk around, there was a spat you could put over this that was patent leather. I don't know if y'all remember that. I don't see. Let me see if they show a pair with the spat on it. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. But yeah, these came with spats. Let's see if they show it with the spats. No. But it came with a spat that went over the shoe. So the shoe like fit this. It was like a part that fit over this part, and it buckled on the side. You couldn't play with it. But yeah, that shoe was very disappointing. It was a very disappointing shoe, to say the least. I really only wear the joints I know MJ wore, but I have bought some he didn't. Yeah. I looked at, I tested them out and I looked at other shoes. It was like the Jordan 10 or the Jordan 11s. Maybe it was the Jordan 10. I'd already had the blue and white pair, and then the breeds came out, that color. And I remember everybody was in line to get them motherfuckers. And I was in line and I was going to get a pair because I was in line enough to get a pair. But I was like, I was buzzed too. I'm like, fuck getting these shoes. All these goofies waiting in line. I went down and they going to Champs and I bought the side Ty Rodmans. And I came here, everybody had them Jordans. Nobody was hooping with them side Ty Rodmans. And so it's like, sometime when you lose, you still win. Because I had all my boys. I mean, my one partner, Big Suge, played for the Vikings. And niggas saw me. He's like, oh, shit. We saw them in the store today. And I used to have a picture of all of us. And them niggas had them. Me and them niggas had the side ties on. They saw me hooping in them. And they went out and got them. They saw how good they looked on your feet. Now, I'll be the first to admit, these weren't good shoes. The twos weren't good shoes. It was better shoes than these twos. It was better shoes than twos. It was definitely better shoes than ones. And it's funny, I told this story when I moved to Michigan in 85, the fall of 85, my boy had bought a pair. And he was so happy. And, I've told this story. He had a sad life. His brother had a really sad life. But I remember he had bought a pair and he was real, real happy about them. And I looked at him like, I wouldn't have bought that shit. That's what my thoughts is. Now these shoes is worth a lot if you kept them, since then. But my feeling then was like, yeah, I wouldn't have bought that shit. I looked at them and didn't really like them. I was like, yeah, I wouldn't have bought that shit. And it's funny, when I was hustling, and could buy anything, I wasn't buying them. But I love shoes. I love the art of shoes. Yeah, I love the art of shoes. No doubt. These were okay. The ones they called the Bugs Bunnies, these was actually okay. These was actually okay to hoop in. They weren't terribly bad, especially I think these was the first pair they released was this colorway. They weren't terribly bad, but if I remember right, they had the sock kind of, yeah, they had the sock. Remember Michigan wore these, I think. I think Jalen and them wore these, or they wore if not these, they wore the sock pair that was the cheaper ones than these, but the ones with the socks, because these kind of had like a sock. Like when they originally, that was kind of like a sock that's right there. You can kind of see that this was like all like a sock. You couldn't really pull it out, but just the way it fit your foot, this part was kind of separate from the rest of the shoe. So it's kind of more enforced. If you remember what the initial shoe was for, more enforced. So, so I could talk about shoes all night. I love shoes. Oh, and I'm at 2 hours. What time is it? I don't think I'm getting up and playing pickleball in the morning. I've been so fucking lazy. No, they were these. They were those. But yeah, I don't think I'm getting up in the morning anyway. I've been so lazy. Yeah, it's just a lot of these spores. As you know me, I'm a shoe junkie, so I could look at this. I could look at old basketball pictures all night. I could talk about this shit. I got so many shoe stories. You know, where the shoe wars. Like check this out. Like my son, the year before my son graduated in 08, like technically my son, we held him back because he had a late birthday. His birthday's August. And so technically he could have went to school with the people that graduated in 07. Because he had a few friends. He was actually older than him, but he was a year behind because we let him. He went to like pre-kindergarten, and then we let him go to kindergarten a year later instead of him being, because we experienced my nephew was the youngest in his class. My nephew started at 4 and turned 5 in October, but he was always the youngest. And so this way we thought it helped his maturity, and it definitely did. But anyway, the class before him, to tell you how important and ingrained the shoes were, and this is in Battle Creek, Michigan, the class of 07, the majority of dudes who hooped or thought they was cool, fly, whatever you want to say, they took their senior pictures with Jordans in the picture. So if you got 15 people on the basketball team, you had 15 people that took their senior pictures with their shoes. And one person that did that ended up getting killed over a pair of shoes. Someone stole his shoes. He some kind of way found the shoes and took them back. And the guy went to his house. The guy knocked on his door and he answered the door. And as soon as he answered the door, the dude shot him for taking his shoes back that he had stole. So the guy steals the shoes and he's so mad that the dude took them back from him that he had to go kill him. And why didn't he look out the peephole? You know, that's the other thing, is like, you just open the door to anybody, you know? Sometimes people take light too light. You do some gangster shit, you gotta, you know, be prepared for gangster shit to come back at you. And I ain't saying it's karma or nothing, or he deserved it, he didn't. But should have still been more cautious. Should have still been more cautious. But yeah, I like those burgundy ones. I might end up having to eventually get them. And it's funny. They gave this dude, he played in the championship. He didn't play on the team the next year. They put him out. He like turned this game out against them. And of course it was fixed, but he didn't make the NBA. Michael Graham didn't make the NBA. And he was kicked off the team the next year. And then funny, Benny Anders for Houston was the same way. Looked like a sure NBA player. Yeah. Ended up kicked off the team, and you never heard from him. Look at these jerseys. Look how sweet these jerseys were. And the players designed these. Earl Tatum designed these. This is Butch Lee. Butch Lee won the championship beating Carolina and Dean Smith. That's Walter Davis. And Earl Tatum. Earl Tatum designed these. And these were where they didn't get tucked in. They was made to, and I remember Benton Harbor, it's a picture of me playing Benton Harbor. They had style like these, where they were made not to be tucked in. And this is what they showed the Texas Western getting beat. And if you look in this picture, Pat Riley's got the 42. And this is Pat Riley, the Lakers coach, you know, winning time, Lakers coach. Then the 24 is there. You see that? They got pictures of these dudes dunking and stuff, but look at the picture they took. They published a picture with 2 24s because the first all-black 5 won. But if you look at really what was done the year before, Loyola won with 4 brothers, you know, 4 melanated people and 1 European. Well, this was the first time it had 5 brothers, you know, 5 melanated people against, you know. But it's still, the mocking is right here in the picture. 42, 24. This is the mocking. So this is how they do it. Oh, and this is one of the sweetest pictures of all time. Look how high up David Thompson is. And if you look closely, his fingernails are painted red, it looks like. But look at how high he is. Here's a 6-foot person. Here's a 7-foot person. Bill Walton, 7 foot. This dude right here is 7'4". But look how David Thompson has made it over him. I mean, his hand is almost like where the top of the square is. Look how far he is over the basket. Look at that. This dude is 6 foot. Beautiful picture. That's Jamal Wilkes from Showtime. You know, I could talk about this shit all night. There's not too many pictures that I can go through when I ain't got a story to tell about it. Yeah, it's like, I know, you know, some about almost every picture I go through. I know a little bit or could tell you a story. Yeah, look how sweet this picture is of Elgin Baylor shooting one hand. Look how sweet that is. One hand. Little floater. I'm starting to sniffle and snuffle. And you got to study Elgin Baylor. Elgin Baylor was solid. Ended up having knee troubles, but he was a solid player. I think his average was like 15, his career stats. I think he averaged like 15 a game. And what's interesting is the energy of numbers. I mean, there's always been a 33, you see? This is 33. Kareem's later number. But see, they always keep these same numbers out in front of people. It's like, did y'all notice tonight how, like when Kansas City got rid of a dude that went to Miami, they immediately put another player wearing that number. Now we seen a number 4 for the Vikings tonight. Cook was number 4. I mean, it's like when Randy Moss left. It's like almost they want the power of the number, and that's why 32 tends to live. It's power in those numbers. That's why as soon as they trade somebody, they still want that energy from that former player. That's why if it's not a Hall of Fame type player, they immediately put somebody with that jersey on. Again, you look at when we look at the Cowboys number 22, Bob Hayes had it first. And then you see Emmitt Smith setting career marks. Now we really saw Dwayne Thomas wear 33, and then later we see Tony Dorsett wear 33. First we see Drew Pearson wearing 88. Then we saw, what was his name? I can picture his face. He caught the touchdown they called back against Green Bay. And then this new rookie from Alabama, now he's got 88. So do you see how they still want the number? They want the energy of the number. They keep the numbers. So just something to look at as you ponder this sport, and you think it's not any. I was gonna look something up. Oh yeah. All right, here we go. Now, many of you that play the video games, you'd be familiar if you looked. But I mean, look at Elgin Baylor's stats when he really played. Like once he went to the Lakers, 73 games. Where are we at? What points? Is this it? Field goals. Yeah, this is points right here, right? Yeah. So look, he came in the league and he shot 40%. He averaged 21 points a game. He averaged 15 rebounds a game. No, right here. He averaged 24 points a game his rookie year. He averaged 15 points a game, and he played in 70 games. His second year, 29 points a game. 16 rebounds. Next season, 34 points a game, 20 rebounds. 19.8 is 20, and still 5 assists. Look at this. The following year, 38 points a game. He didn't play as long. He got hurt, must have got hurt. 18 rebounds. Played 80 games. He averaged 14 rebounds, 34 points a game. Look at this. 78 games, 25 rebounds, 25 points, 12 rebounds, 27 points, 12. And as he's getting older, but he's not really dropping down. How many plays? He only played 65 this year, but these are decent. 16. Look at that. Look at that. 24-10, 24-10. And then as he was hurt, he only played 2 games in 70-71 because he was hurt. And then he quit the year they won the championship. But he averaged 27 points a game, 13 rebounds, 4 assists, and shot 43%. And look at the playoffs. 25 a game, 12 rebounds, 33, 14 rebounds, 38, 15 rebounds, 38, 17 rebounds, 32, 13 rebounds, 24, 11 rebounds. He must have been hurt this year. But I mean, and you're talking about this man, look how long ago this man played, but his stats was, and you guys that play basketball, you know the stats. This guy could hoop. This guy could really hoop. Should bust out who's the greatest scorer of all time. I should bust that out. But I wanna do it right. Well, I think I'm gonna go. I'm kind of what is it? 2:30? Yeah, might as well go. I ain't got a whole lot to do. I know I ain't getting my ass up in the morning to play pickleball, maybe, but I doubt it. The way I'm feeling right now, I like to just sleep and get up. Yeah. So I normally don't do Friday nights. I probably won't if I feel compelled to do a daytime, the Big Eagle Hour, maybe. But we'll see. We'll see. If not, I'll be on Saturday night. So to talk about college football, and maybe I'll show some plays as we go along, because that seems to be my place in the world. Remind you that the games are fixed, but we still watch them. But as the holder of the infinite sacred ball game created by the Hero Twins, I have to remind you that sports ain't just about betting and stuff. It's a spiritual aspect of it that we as melanated Americans, we have tapped into. It's an art for us. It's music for us. It's dancing for us. It's all that jammed into one. That's what athletics is for us. We incorporate everything into that. Thank you for the kind words. So we incorporate all sports into that. So it's not just, sterile, your high school against that. It's ingrained in us to do this, to compete, to be our best. And it's a stepping stone. It's a stepping stone. It's something you can talk about the rest of your life, but it's a stepping stone to other things. And that's the way I look at it. And that's the way you got to look at it. So, with that said, where's she at?
Well, gotta get a piece of my well, gotta get a piece of my
It's what? It's what? It's what? It's what? It's what?
Well, gotta get a piece of my.
Oh, I love it, but my message has got to be.
This ain't loud enough.
I'm still trying to get that message out there.
I'm trying to tell you. This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying. I'm trying to tell you just what heard me, man.
See, I tried to told you.
I'm trying to tell you just what heard me, man.
I tried to told you.
I'm trying to tell you just what heard me.
I tried to told you.
I'm trying to tell you just what heard me, man.
I tried to told you, and I just
left a light in this bitch.
that kind of goodbye. Till we meet again, say less. What you got to say, Kenya?
Well.
What you got to say, Kenya?
Well.
Ha ha! You gotta have what?
Well. Gotta get a piece of mind.
Well, with that, me and Kenya, till we meet again. Hope you like the show. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for coming on, because I don't care if it's one or how many. It doesn't matter. I'm going to bring my opinion and myself and bring it the best way I can and talk about it as enthusiastically as I can. I hope you get something out of what this old man says. So till we meet again, restful night. May your dreams come true.